Ghost lovers, it's Chris Liverett with Sherpa Real Estate bringing you a COVID Sessions update, April 24th. It's Friday. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather. I am going to speak quickly because I've learned something during this COVID crisis. We all have an attention span of about that long. So I won't belabor my discussion. If you miss something, just push pause and you can catch up. I wanted to bring you up to speed. I've been in touch with several people this week. One of them is the CEO of CRIN, our Colorado Real Estate Network, Jeff Follis, and he and I have compared notes, and his notes line up with mine, so that's a good touch point. But he and I had a good discussion on what's going on with the overall Western Slopes market, and I want to bring you a couple of pieces of our market. I want to bring this, hold on, let me share my screen with you really quickly. I want to bring a couple slides to you really quickly. I follow a guy named Michael Dupree who has got some interesting thoughts, and he's a very analytical guy, and he studies the real estate market globally, and he's done all the analytics. And I'm just going to bring one point from one of his slides. This represents the China rebound, if you will. And so don't get caught up in the numbers too much, but I just want to show you one thing. He's analyzed where they are with the real estate market, where they've come from. Obviously, all the numbers from his data, we can see something very significantly. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about a V-shaped recovery, possibly economically. People have different opinions on if that's possible or not. But, you know, the stock market right now is kind of looking like that, kind of like a V-shaped recovery. But I would like to suggest that we will not have a V-shaped recovery in the real estate world. We will have a checkbox recovery, a checkmark recovery. Look at the blue line here for 2020. This is what happened with China's real estate market when the COVID took effect. It dropped, it plummeted, it went almost straight down. If you draw a line here, you're going to draw a line that's nearly vertical, right? And it stayed on the bottom for a couple of weeks. And then you can see from this blue line, just look at the trajectory of how it's recovering slowly, more slowly than it fell, but we're calling that a checkbox recovery, right? If we drew a line a few times, you can see a checkbox there. I believe that's how all of real estate will recover as it recovers. We may see some down, up, but that's going to be the general trend line that's probably going to happen. So keeping that in mind, I wanted to go over to our current data here. This is the residential unit sales, so homes only in the Western Slopes. I've chosen 7 or 8 counties that represent the mountain towns. And I've got a representation of the actual sales from 2018 in the yellow, 2019 in the green, and 2020 in the blue. And you can see from January moving into March, it's kind of a normalish growing as the state thaws out and the snow melts and we begin to see more activity. This line represents when the United States said we have a pandemic. There were 10,000 cases at that point. This represents the line of Colorado calling for a stay-at-home mandate. So basically about a week of uncertainty here. And you can see what happened to our residential real estate transactions. They fell off pretty precipitously. So keeping in mind, what does this look like, right? As of today, today's April 24th, on April 27th, real estate for the last few weeks has been shut down completely with no showings in person, no marketing efforts. So really, we've been pretty dead in the water. We've been answering questions, and if we have a video tour of something, we've been giving it to folks and talking through it. And there's been a couple of transactions, but for the most part, we've been dead, right? And so Monday, April 27th, per the Colorado change, what the federal government said was phase 1, but it's basically loosening up of a few things, a few businesses, and a few restrictions. One of those things that will change for real estate is we will be able to show property in person. Very restricted, very carefully, very social distance, very filtered, but nonetheless, there will be some activity that can take place. And so that happens in just a few days. So keeping in mind that that's where we've been in the past, these past few weeks. Moving forward, what will that look like for real estate? Well, no crystal ball, but if we're dealing with COVID and we're looking at the way Italy's recovering and China, I've looked at Italy's numbers also and other places, if all things being equal, right, and we were able to open up Colorado slowly and carefully in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks, maybe a different phase, if we don't have a setback. These are a lot of ifs, but if everything were on that track to a type of positive recovery, I would suggest this. We have real estate runs in about a 3 to 6 week window. Cash transactions can happen in about 3 weeks. Loans normally between 4 to 6 weeks, but let's just call it 3 to 6 week window. Here we are today at the end of April, and this is kind of where we are and kind of where we're trending. I'm going to show you one more slide here. This represents the actual properties under contract. So this slide shows when they close. This slide is 3 to 6 weeks in arrears, right? So, you know, a typical spring looks like this: February, March, April, May, June. Sometimes we're just kind of climbing the ladder, putting more and more things under contract. This is pretty typical for Pagosa Springs. Right now, we were only seeing February, March data. You can see February, March is going down. I expect April to slide way down here. So we're looking at data that shows us the picture of what's ahead, maybe 6 weeks. So we're still sliding down the ladder here for under contracts. So as we go through life here for the next 4 to 6 weeks, I expect a significant downturn to nearly zero in here until at least the end of May, early June. So best case prediction, once again, shouldn't predict, but I am. If there is a bottom to this thing this summer and the oil boom doesn't, or the oil crunch doesn't completely destroy us, or we don't have a relapse, if all those things can be fairly stable moving forward, I am predicting that we start to see a bit of a turnaround, a bit more activity turnaround somewhere around June. Probably. What does that look like for recovery? I don't know. I would say best case scenario, our real estate market will have started to show signs of some type of recovery, maybe not fully recovered at all, but some type. Could be fall or winter. So I've heard a lot of predictions, but I'm seeing that as closely as I've ever seen the numbers right now. So, you know, second quarter is going to be negative. Third quarter, we'll see. Could be flat, could be positive, and then we'll see what happens after that. So that's my kind of best case prediction there for what's currently going on. And I can't figure out how to stop sharing my page. There we go. That's my best case scenario for where we're heading right now. So we'll see. I want to keep you informed. I want to bring someone in next week to talk about some analytics a little bit more. But until then, have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. Stay at home as much as you can. Keep yourself protected. Keep your family protected so we can hopefully kind of move out of this thing at a decent pace. If you have any questions whatsoever about real estate now or in the future, please give us a call, 970-903. Nope, that's not it. That's myself. 970-444-2571, or visit our website at sherparealestate.com. We can offer you lots of information on listing or selling your home in the near future. Have a great weekend.